Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Needlework on which you are working with needle and thread. She put her sewing back in the basket. Joining or attaching by stitches. Needlework on which you are working with needle and thread. Joining or attaching by stitches. A creation created or assembled by needle and thread. Work, such as sewing or embroidery, that is done with a needle. A creation created or assembled by needle and thread. Work, such as sewing or embroidery, that is done with a needle. A work produced by hand labor. A craft that requires skillful hands. A small contrasting part of something. A patch of clouds. A connection intended to be used for a limited time. Repair by adding pieces. A protective cloth covering for an injured eye. Sewing that repairs a worn or torn hole, especially in a garment. A piece of soft material that covers and protects an injured part of the body. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. A patch of bad weather. A small area of ground covered by specific vegetation. A cabbage patch. Mend by putting a patch on. Patch a hole. To join or unite the pieces of. Patch the skirt. A piece of cloth used as decoration or to mend or cover a hole. A short set of commands to correct a bug in a computer program. Provide with a patch, also used metaphorically. The field was patched with snow. A quilt made by sewing patches of different materials together. A theory or argument made up of miscellaneous or incongruous ideas. Sewing consisting of pieces of different materials sewn together in a pattern. Fasten by sewing. Do needlework. A link or loop or knot made by an implement in knitting, crocheting, embroidery, or sewing. A sharp spasm of pain in the side resulting from running. Restore by replacing a part or putting together what is torn or broken. Sewing that repairs a worn or torn hole, especially in a garment. Her stockings had several mends. The act of putting something in working order again. Heal or recover. My broken leg is mending. One of a pair of mechanical devices that are attached to a ski and that will grip a ski boot. The bindings should release in case of a fall. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The book had a leather binding. The act of applying a bandage. Executed with proper legal authority. A binding contract. Strip sewn over or along an edge for reinforcement or decoration. The capacity to attract and hold something. Something of little value. Sewing that repairs a worn or torn hole, especially in a garment. Repair by sewing. Darn socks. The act of gathering something. Collect in one place. Let's gather in the dining room. Assemble or get together. Gather some stones. Increase or develop. The car gathers speed. Get people together. Gather the close family members. Sewing consisting of small folds or puckers made by pulling tight a thread in a line of stitching. Draw together into folds or puckers. Collect or gather. Conclude from evidence. I gather you have not done your homework. Draw and bring closer. She gathered her shawl around her shoulders. Look for food in nature. Our ancestors gathered nuts in the fall. The act of gathering something. A group of persons together in one place. The social act of assembling. Sewing consisting of small folds or puckers made by pulling tight a thread in a line of stitching. A decorative design made of one material sewn over another. Sew on as a decoration. Stitching that is not easily seen or noticed. Surgical joining of two surfaces. The leaf of a conifer. Annoy or provoke, as by constant criticism. He needled her with his sarcastic remarks. A stylus that formerly made sound by following a groove in a phonograph record. A sharp-pointed implement, usually steel. A slender pointer for indicating the reading on the scale of a measuring instrument. Prick with a needle.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.